afternoon. I'm daily advocate and early bird reporter Meladi Brewer, and with me today I have Commissioner Marshall Combs and the ever infamous Mike Stegall. How are you gentlemen doing today?
Wonderful.
Doing great.
Staying warm with all the crazy weather we've been having?
Trying.
Yep. When you're retired, you can stay in.
Great. Well, you also have coffee.
Yes, I do.
You didn't bring me none?
Sorry about that, but I thought, that you being in a high-class organization like that, you'd have your own coffee, but apparently I'm wrong.
Oh, you think they pay me enough to get coffee? You're funny. All I can say is after this week, I'm so grateful that it's Friday. I don't know about your workload this week, but Friday, I'm so grateful for it.
I'm so grateful it's Friday.
Isn't every day like Friday like you?
My workload has been awful.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine, Mike.
So how do you stay busy with every day being like Friday?
I work on golf clubs. I go uptown, like I told you earlier. On Monday through Thursday, I go up to A&B Coffee, sit down, talk to Jeff McMiller and Dennis Short. Some other people come in. And then on Fridays, I go up to M&M at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning, and there's Dale Musser, and just old guy talk. You know how it is.
Right.
That's what old guys do. They go to coffee shops, tell lies.
Sure.
Best thing about old guys, and you'll find this out when you get older, is, and you will too, old guys go to a coffee shop, one guy will tell a lie, and four of them will swear to it.
Oh, yeah?
One of them will say, yeah, I was out in the backyard last night and an alien landed there, and three of them will go, yeah, I saw that. So that's just the way they are. You got to just learn,
Oh, well, now that we're on an insane topic, going back to being busy, your workload's insane. You know, commissioner, you also run your own State Farm branch, and you're also starting a networking group.
Yeah, it's been busy, but I guess that's what your 20s are supposed to be. You're supposed to be busy, building things, getting started. So it's been my busy season. Start of the year is obviously really busy for a lot of people, but between commissioner and running the State Farm office here in Greenville and starting this new networking group, it's been busy, but good kind of busy. It's off to a great start, and most important thing about having a busy schedule or a lot on your plate is having a good team around you. So I feel like everywhere, everything that I try to do, we have a good team of people around us. So yeah,
that's good. So what is this networking group exactly?
Yeah, so when I first moved up here to Darke County several years ago, as a new business owner up here, there wasn't any young professional type groups going on. There was some referral type network groups, but there wasn't something for young professionals to really get involved. We're talking about entrepreneurs, people that are managing businesses that they work at, employees that are at their businesses trying to help grow their careers and further the businesses that they work at. And so we just decided, myself and John Bargy, one of my buddies, decided to start this free networking group. It doesn't cost any money to join it. You don't have to buy into the club or anything like that. And it's just a way for us to connect to the next generation of professionals that are trying to build a brand for themselves, a business for themselves, no matter what kind of industry you're in. So everything from the trades of electric, construction, masonry, concrete, all those men and women. We have some doctors, lawyers, real estate agents, insurance agents, and some other politicians too that try to join the group. And we even have some, they own automotive mechanic shops here in town. And so it's just a lot of people trying to grow and help the economy overall in the county. And it's been off to a great start. We just started it a few months ago. So it's once a month usually. Every other month is in the morning for a coffee session, and then on the off months is an evening session. So we can accommodate everybody's schedule. But it's been great.
So what's this group called?
Right now it's called the Darke County Young Professionals.
If they want to join or find out information, is there a place to go?
Our Facebook page. If you like and follow the Facebook page for Darke County Young Professionals, we post all of our events on there, the locations, times, all that stuff. So it's good, and you guys should really look into joining.
Well, it sounds like a great group of people.
Yeah, it is.
Getting the community together while making those connections that we need to better our own selves in business. Plus, you can always learn from new people.
Oh yeah, a lot of camaraderie. When you get around a group of people, usually you are and you become who you hang around, right? So if you hang around other successful people, other friends, that's why me and Mike don't hang out. But when you when you are around other people who are trying to do something amazing with their lives, it also, you know, sparks that interest in you and that fire inside of you to make you want to, drive yourself and push yourself to be like that. So it's been good.
Well, that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, didn't you do something similar when you were there? You put together like fire department or whatever?
I've done a lot. But one thing I want to say about Marshall is I'm very proud of him. I mean, he's 29 years old, and he's doing this on his own. I mean, he started it. This is one of the reasons that when he said he wanted to run for commissioner, I was all for it, because we need new, young ideas. I think Marshall's going to be an excellent addition to the commissioner's office, and I think he'll get his handle on running your business, because it does take time. I remember I had my business when I first started, and trying to devote, at that time it was 2 days a week to my business, 3 days up here, and you gotta make sure you get it all channeled the right way. Every day is different, but you have to remember what you've got going. Okay, now on Tuesday we're going to have this meeting, this meeting, this meeting. Thursday we got this meeting, but then on Wednesday I got this meeting with my business, and it's hard to get it all, but you'll get it compartmentalized, and you'll be fine. It takes a while. Don't get frustrated when you're like, God, I can't do that. You know, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
No, it's been good. Yeah, the schedule's been working out. Like I said, having a great team around you when you have a lot on your plate, it's been phenomenal. So I'm lucky and fortunate to have a great team of people with the different things that I'm involved in. So yeah,
definitely have to be good with time management.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For sure. So what led you to a career in politics?
So
From State Farm to politics.
Great question. So what piqued my interest, when you become a business owner, you start paying attention a lot more to when the state is coming out with regulations, different rules, and especially when it comes to taxes. So when you're a small business owner, you pay a lot of money in taxes. So I found that out, just like any new business owner does, and so I really paid attention. And then about 6 months into me owning a business, the COVID crisis came out, and all of the businesses were shutting down across the entire country. Politics were freaking out in all of the different states. So I, being a conservative, felt like the state rushed a lot of those decisions. A lot of the decisions that they were making at that level, I did not agree with, and a lot of business owners did not agree with. And so my perspective on that kind of drove me to get more involved, research a lot more, started to network with some people over at the state, try to figure out what was going on. And so, through those channels and through networking with some of those state reps, senators, and things like that, and some congressmen, and trying to understand what was going on and how we can get back on track to a normal functioning society again, where people can go to the grocery store and can go to the doctor's office and start opening up their businesses again and their restaurants. It led me to want to be able to be involved if something ever like that ever happened again. I realized that we needed some leadership, and through meeting these people and networking with some of these men and women, there was nobody even taking over in our next generation. It was people. There was a huge gap, I noticed, when I would go to these meetings and some of these conventions, just to meet with some people. There's just a big gap in the next generation being involved. And so I decided to be different and be that person to get involved. Yeah.
Which makes a lot more sense with the Young Professionals of Darke County group, with the networking and getting the next generation all ready to go by having all those connections already for just in case another big pandemic or another emergency hits. Then.
Yeah, and I didn't want to just be someone who sat there, watched the news, and complained about life. I wanted to be someone who stands up and takes action. I don't like, I'm not a complacent person, so I never understand the complacency. So it's one of those things where I like to take action, and if I get passionate about something, I will, I'll be vocal about it and stand up for it. So, yeah.
Right. So are there any goals as a commissioner right now, like in the next 4 years, you would like to see Because I know when he started, he wanted to get the county out of debt and worked really hard to get it that way, and as opposed to a few loans you can't pay off early, you know. So what's your game plan? Do you got one right now?
Yeah, probably two things right now. So it started in the works with last year, but we really need to figure out this broadband internet access. We're a rural community, so just like several decades ago, people thought it was silly to have a telephone in your house. Everybody said, "Oh, why would we need a telephone? We can write letters to our neighbors and friends and family." Well, then then businesses became reliant on telephones, and then homes became reliant on telephones. Well, same thing with the internet. All of these businesses need internet access, and now everybody needs internet access at their home. Either they're working from home, or kids are going to online school. Colleges are all online. Everybody saw that when COVID shut all the facilities down. Everybody had to go home, right? Every student from preschool up to college and the graduate degree, everybody was doing remote. They needed the internet access, and so I met with a lot of people, and I heard a lot of folks talking about having to go to other cities and other homes just to get internet access. And it wasn't just a few people in a certain block radius. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of people in our area that couldn't function because they didn't have internet access. So I think that's a big deal from the agriculture community. A lot of their equipment is run on different internet systems. A lot of the data that they collect is run on internet systems, so they need Wi-Fi out in the fields. And then, and everybody down to a kindergartner having to, do an online class or something like that. So I know it's the world we live in, whether we like it or not. That's just the reality. And so having, this broadband and figuring out and getting this signal out and making a good plan to get our citizens the internet access that they deserve is going to be a big thing. Also, the second thing, I know I said there was two. The second thing is I'd like to see some housing come in. We have a lot of good development going on down in Arcanum. I know recently there was some in Versailles. And so I would like to see some new housing development so that we can attract people to our area that want to purchase homes, newer built homes, things like that. It's a big deal, and the next generation, I think, is looking for that. A lot of them, they might see a home that they like in a certain block or a certain neighborhood, but they don't necessarily want a home that they have to completely flip or fix up or needs a new roof, all those kinds of things. Maybe they want a new build. So I think having some housing development in the county would do great for the growth here and what we're trying to do. So
Right. Well, not only that, but we do have a fairly big homeless population due to the opioid pandemic and things like that. So would housing for them, or trying to figure out something for that, be in the works as well?
Yeah, so we need to figure out what kind of grant funding we have from the state and from the feds, because it is a problem. No one has personally asked me about this topic yet, but it's a known issue, and having a place for them to go either temporarily or long term, and it being a safe place, I think is a really big deal. Whether that's apartments or some type of group home, but yeah, it's definitely something that's been on our radar, but haven't had any plans set in stone to move forward.
All right. Well, we heard what you want to do in the next 4 years. What do you want to see as a retiree and part of the community from Marshall and the Commissioners?
I want to just continue the path that Matt and I, when he first came in, started. I think keeping the county out of debt's a big thing. Modernizing our equipment is always important. Broadband is huge, and I'm very proud to see that they're moving on with that. I also think, I'm not sure how it's going to work in the future, but solar and other forms of energy are going to want to do something. Hydrogen might be the next thing. And the problem is, with solar, it's so, what do I want to say? Compartmentalized. You either love it or you hate it. Mm-hmm. And what we've got to do in the county, and this is part of what a commissioner has to come up with, is we have to do some kind of thing for the whole county, legislation or whatever, that we can allow for growth in these new forms, but yet make sure that everybody's a good neighbor. And finding that balance is going to be tough. It can be done. I always learned that if you can come up with something that will make everybody just a little bit mad at you, you've got the perfect piece of legislation. Because they didn't get everything they wanted, but they got enough they can live with it.
Right.
I think it's what we have to do with whatever form comes in the future. I don't want to do what some people say is, well, we don't want any growth at all, because we don't. That's not true. We do. We want Darke County and we want Greenville and everybody to grow. So we have to figure out some way to make that possible. And it can be done. You're just going to have to resign yourself to the fact that everybody's going to be mad at you.
Right.
Got to learn to live with it.
Change is hard, and not everyone's going to like it. It's just like you said with broadband. You know, times are changing. Not everyone wants to be more digital or internet friendly, but that's just where we're going. Same with solar. We're trying to find new ways to better our community, better the environment, things like that. And both ideas are how we're going to get there.
And I also think we need to continue looking at our properties, making sure that they're fit for the future. I know we're going to do some work on the courthouse. It's coming up, I suppose. I've heard that anyway. We worked on that when I left, and we've got some other properties we want to modernize. Just keep moving forward on it. Got to remember, it's people's money, and they own those properties, so we want to make sure we take care of them.
Right. Anything else you gentlemen want to talk about since I got you
No,
here?
I think that's it. Just appreciate. Did you have any more questions for us? No.
Not on the top of my
All
head.
right. No, I just appreciate everybody's support over the last year since I decided to run. Just want to do a great job for everybody out there. And I'm a very approachable person, so if you have questions or you see something or see some kind of need in the county, please reach out, stop by, let me know. I'm very approachable, and I'm all ears and willing to listen. So.
And I want to thank the people of Darke County for having me around for 12 years. Couldn't believe they'd do that, but they did. And it was enjoyable. We got a lot done, and I see a bright future for Darke County. And I'd like to see some more younger people get involved in politics. I think we really need that. You don't want to get to a point where you get stale. And I think once you're in there, it is my firm belief that if you're in there more than, now this is just for me, if you're in there more than 3 or 4 terms, you get to a point when you find yourself saying, well, we've always done it this way, that's time to quit. That's a time to get out, because you want to always try to find a new way to do something better. And I think the group we've got now will do that.
All right.
And I think Marshall will be okay.
We'll see in 4 years.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to thank both of you for being here today.
Thanks for the invite.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It's been fun.
We'll have to do it again sometime.
Yeah,
Right.
Let's do.
I'll have to drill into you more
Yeah.
policies and things
Yeah,
like that.
I was expecting some tougher questions. So
We're just getting to know you right now.
I'm not even sweating.
I wasn't even
We're going to ease you into this position.
I wasn't expecting anything at all.
We're all just surprised that you made it.
Well, if you want to see more content like this, make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us and subscribe on YouTube. You can find us at the Daily Advocate and the Early Bird. Thank you.